What is up, everybody? I hope everyone is having a great day. This is me, Justin, at J_Persichetti. And with me, I got Jason Blevins at JBlevins NBA. How you doing, Jason?
I'm doing great. I have been looking forward to this all day long.
Yeah, listen, today should be a great game. I'm excited because we got some of our guys back. If you didn't know, we are here for the Sixers watch party between the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers. It's exciting to me just for the fact that we're getting back Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle, and Tobias Harris today. Tobias Harris was on a kick right before everything with COVID happened. So what are you expecting today from the guys coming back?
You know, what I don't know is how much access they had to the practice facility. You know, they've been in protocols, they've been in isolation. So have they been able to practice, and I haven't looked at Miami's situation, how many guys they have coming back, who's playing for them. But, it's been a week, I guess, so not a big deal for them. And it'll just allow some of the other people to play a lot less, which I think is the benefit.
Yeah, from what I can see and from what I've heard so far is there's not anybody new coming back for them. I haven't seen any reports of that, at least. One guy that I was surprised with. I don't know about you, mind you. I haven't paid much attention to the Miami Heat so far this year, but the fact that Gabe Vincent, he really came out of nowhere to me. He's averaging 15 points for them on the season, but he scored, I believe it was like around in like the mid-20s yesterday. Yeah, he scored 24 points yesterday. Now, I don't know about you, but I did not expect that.
No, I didn't. But again, it's like in a pick your poison situation, I think the Sixers were happy to let him try to beat them.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the Media Central injury report, and Bam is out, Bradley is out, Avery Bradley, Jimmy Butler out, Dragic is out, Mo Harkless out, Udonis Haslem is out, Myers Leonard is out, and Kendrick Nunn is out, and KZ Okpala also out. This is a mess. Miami.
To me, it sounds the same as it was yesterday. I do want to answer a quick question here.
Yeah.
Where's Dibes? Dibes, sadly, will not be joining us tonight. He has some prior things going on, and I believe tomorrow morning, very early in the morning, he's getting up at around 3 a.m. to watch the I think it was what is it called? It's a Marvel TV show that's coming out on Disney Plus like really early in the morning, and he's gonna do a live reaction and review to the TV show. So he is going to bed early today. So sadly, he could not be here to join us. But I got my man Jason Blevins here. He is our Sixers beat reporter. So he's got a lot of interesting stuff to talk about. I hope I can be well enough of a host for you guys tonight as we get along this journey. But Jason, go ahead.
If anybody had any question, Dibes is, if you think he loves Philly sports, man, you don't get him in the Disney Channel, and that's his real happy place. Dibes and I have done like live movie reviews. Like for the Joker, we met up in media at some huge Metroplex and watched the Joker and the Star Wars movie, and like did a live reaction. Like that's his happy place. So he is getting that rest before he's on whatever WandaVision, I guess.
That's what it is.
WandaVision, yeah. So he's got his priorities straight.
But he will be back. Don't worry, he is not gone. But he will be back. Here's Mark Wenger says, Jason, the beat Blevins in the house for back-to-back watch parties. Sweet, love the insight. See, listen, Jason, you got to get on these, man, when you can.
I appreciate it. Whenever I'll be back in the arena on Saturday, I'm just playing it safe, and I'll definitely be here for pregame Saturday. Um, During the games when I'm there, obviously I can't do that. Although I probably could, but I'm looking at totally different things when I'm in the arena, off ball, trying to assess what they're doing away from the ball. Here I
Mhm.
can just sort of watch on TV the same way everybody watches. So, and by the way,
Yeah.
I think my official TPL nickname is hashtag one speed. So I do like the beat, and I don't get to choose my own nickname. But I think I'm officially one speed.
Nice, nice. Mark also said, do we see a motivated Simmons now that trade talks with Harden now that the trade talk with Harden is done? I mean, what do you think about that?
I think that you know the way Miami played him the other night is the way teams are going to play him, and it's up to him to adapt. And he's a really good player that can help in a lot of ways, but I don't think motivation was the problem the other night. I really don't. I don't think he's. I hope he's not, because you can't be a professional and step out on the floor thinking about what people are tweeting or what
Mhm.
people are discussing. I've said it before, but your biggest problem as an NBA player is other NBA players trying to stop you.
Mhm.
There's You just can't be successful worrying about what other people are saying while you're out there.
Yeah, and I think that's something that people worry about with Ben, mostly because of the shooting and because like he has been hesitant to do that kind of things. And I believe it was you that talked about this before, that D'Angelo Russell said in an interview that it's like that's what it is. Like it is the fact that it's the outside noise he thinks that's keeping him from doing it. Am I correct by that statement?
Yeah, and I don't buy it.
Yeah, I hear you.
I don't, I don't buy it. I think Ben tries to make the right play, and he doesn't think about the game of chess like he should. Um, and I got a text from from an NBA trainer earlier who basically said, teams have figured him out, and he's not improving offensively. And I think there's some truth to that. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you can see that honestly, I'm I guess more of an educated fan than like some than others maybe, but something that you see a lot of times when he's playing is a lot of the things you've seen before. Like you see, and I think that's a big difference between something you see with Joel than something you see with Ben. Is you see elevated decision making with Joel Embiid on the floor. You see him reading double teams a lot better. You see him his footwork in the post up getting better. Like something I notice about Ben is that he's still making some of those mistakes that he does when he drives in, and he's still doing those same things that were knocks on him in the first few years. So I think that's something that worries other people and honestly worries me at times with his growth as a player.
yeah. I think the biggest thing that the biggest frustration I think that is absolutely valid with him is when he drives into the lane to gets to about 6 feet away from the rim, jumps, turns around looking for an outlet. I think
Yeah,
that is just I'd rather you take a terrible shot than than throw those passes. I He's a great passer, but like the level of difficulty on that and the opportunity you're giving the other team to jump the passing lane, turn you over, and get an easy bucket is just way beyond the downside of just taking a bad shot at the rim, right? And he's nowhere near the point. Let's just be real. He's nowhere near the point where he's able to make contested shots, much less. We'd like for him to be able to make the open shots, but he's nowhere near the ability to make the contested shot. Um, so, but it's just a bad shot is better than a turnover that leads to a fast break. It just is. So
Yeah.
he's got to get better at it, and he's got to be willing to sacrifice his field goal percentage and his true shooting percentage, and the kind of things that he wants to hang his hat on, in order to not put your team in a bad spot.
No, I agree, and I think what you're saying is valid. Let's get into a little less about Ben Simmons right now and about the team in general in this game. So yesterday's game, or 2 days ago game, sorry. I feel like we've had so many games back to back recently, which I think can be backed up by legitimacy. We've had a lot of games per week, but something that I think we should discuss is the fact that yesterday we let a very seldom Miami team that had a lot of their guys, a lot of their stars out of the lineup, really compete with us. Now, what do you think the reason of that is, considering we have guys like Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid coming back, and we still let the game – we were behind in the game most of the game. Luckily, got back into it because we started making shots. But what do you think attributed to that, to us being down in the game and then like it just being so close?
Yeah, I think Miami has a great culture of working hard and giving guys confidence. And I think what you see is when your stars go out, you're going to give the green light to your second tier players, and they pass that test. They got the green light. They put up a ton of shots, and they pass that test. So if I'm Miami, I'm pretty happy about that. But I think that's what it comes down to is you don't really have the full scouting report on what guys can do, like a Gabe Vincent, right? So you don't scheme against it. You don't have a lot of film where you're teaching a Tyrese Maxey what to take away from Vincent. You don't know. Like, I didn't spend a ton of time watching Vincent, but do you take his left hand away and just force him a certain direction, and that basically reduces him as a player? I don't know, but you'd think with 2 days to think about this, Miami is going to be hard pressed to get some of those easy shots that they got the other day.
Yeah,
It's
no,
just
I agree, and I think also with our guys coming in today, I think it's going to make a huge difference. And one thing I want us to look at right here is the starting lineup for today. Starting lineup for today is going to be Ben Simmons, Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Danny Green, and your big man Joel Embiid. So let's think about this for a second, because I actually think this is a pretty big deal. Shake Milton is coming back into the lineup today, and typically I would have thought that with Seth Curry out, that we would be putting Shake Milton in that spot. I think it's interesting right now that they have Tyrese Maxey going in that two guard spot. What are your opinions on that? And
I agree, but I think you have two of those guys you just mentioned, Maxey and Simmons, fouled out last game.
Yeah.
So you don't want to put all of your ball handlers out there and risk getting foul trouble. So you're probably holding one guy in reserve.
Okay.
The fact that it's Maxey out there starting is really interesting.
Yeah.
I think again, we're in the evaluation process for Tyrese Maxey. What do we really have? What if I'm a coach, if I'm a GM, I want to know as soon as possible what you really have. You have a nice young player. What he's doing well, but you probably want to see a team force him into a bad game to really know what his limitations are. And learning what his limitations are is like the key to knowing whether he's a long-term piece or a movable asset. And you hope you figure that out like a day before the rest of the league figures it out.
Yeah.
That's what you hope. And you hope that because the minute the rest of the league figures it out, he becomes a different he becomes either a neutral asset or just a diminished asset versus when you figure it out.
Yeah. So with speaking of Maxey, um, Tori Thompson says, "What were your thoughts when you saw that Houston wanted Maxey as well?" Now, personally, to me, it seemed like after everything happened, after I got to like really reflect on everything happening yesterday, I honestly felt like our team was more being used as a facilitator for him to be going to the Nets. I feel like as in the Sixers are being used to up the price almost. Now, I don't know how you feel about that. That's kind of the read I was getting, especially with the report that came out today that said um, the Rockets GM did not want to do business or do good business for the Sixers with Daryl Morey because of obviously Morey leaving that organization and then going direct to the Sixers. So what is your opinion of that based on this question?
My opinion is there are very few billionaires who become billionaires by letting emotions drive their decisions. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. It might be a leverage point where your GM is telling you're telling Daryl like, oh, I really want to, but it's really going to have to be a little extra for me to convince my owner to work with you because he's so upset. Like, sure, that might be like a thing you throw out there, but no, that's just that's not how highly successful professionals work. Um, you're on mute.
Sorry, I should have known that. With this question, what were your thoughts on when you saw Houston won and Maxey too? Honestly, my thoughts were like it just shows just the potential that other teams see that Maxey has as well as the Sixers. The Sixers obviously value him and they value his potential, or honestly, they probably would have made a deal like that if that was what they wanted. Um, so I think it just shows the potential of what Maxey can be for this team and what the Sixers see him to being. Um, Yola Boy says, "Do you see the roster remaining the same team? I'm assuming for playoffs or what? I don't think so. I have a feeling they're gonna either be moving for another wing of a veteran wing or a veteran power forward. I think it just kind of depends. What are your opinions on that, Jason?
Yeah, I think they'll definitely make a move. I think I've said it really since probably the draft. They're just ripe for a consolidation move.
Mm-hmm.
And I I think they're in the evaluation stage right now about what they've got, what pieces work together, what 2-man game options, what 3-man personnel combos work together. But I don't know. I don't see them. I don't see them staying put. I think they can do
Yeah.
a consolidation move, which will open up minutes to offer the buyout market, which there
Mm-hmm.
probably will be a significant buyout market.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons not to keep this many deep bench guys.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you. I definitely think there's a strong possibility because we do have like some legitimate NBA players that have potential and value on our reserve spots, like guys like Terrence Ferguson, guys like Mike Scott, who is getting minutes for us now, but if the team sees that they may need a little bit more value in that position, especially being that that position can get a lot of shots up for them.
Yep.
I could see them making a move with that. But
Yeah.
so with that, let's get a little bit more into the game and the game coming to us now. Obviously, Tyler Hero was going off at the end of the game yesterday. What do you think the Sixers have to do to slow him down?
Um, I think they have a ton of options to slow him down tonight. I think you mix coverages, you mix up who's guarding him. You put Ben on him probably as much as possible to blanket him, smother him. Um, you you know, guys like that, you try to keep them off balance. You try to disrupt their rhythm. You don't let them get used to cooking off of one guy. Harder to do when you only have 8 players available. Much easier to do when you have a full roster.
Yeah, and I think it's also having obviously having a guy back like Matisse Thybulle, but especially having a guy like Shake Milton back, who obviously has been showing better guard potential, like defensive potential, since the season has started. And not that he has like the best lateral quickness to keep up with a guy like Tyler Hero, but he has been showing that he has the potential to be better.
Yeah, and I think you probably want a lot of shake on Duncan Robinson, right? Because they're
Yeah.
similar frames.
Shake's got those long arms to keep up with the
Yeah,
6'7".
you want Robinson to have to put the ball on the floor. So that's what you want, right? And to your point, Shake's lateral quickness is his area of growth for defense. So
Yeah.
Robinson isn't a guy that scares you driving to the basket.
Yeah, I agree. What's up, GBN Bagel? Um, Isaiah Joe going off tonight. I mean, maybe we'll see. What's up, Thunder Dude? How you doing? Um, Tori Thompson said it made me so happy that Joel said he wasn't tired and he was ready to go after the game the other night. I'm proud of his growth. I agree. I think that's something that everybody's like really glad to see. I mean, he went for 45, so that's not any little number, no matter who you're playing. Um, so let's get into who do you think is the player of the game today?
Best player on the floor is Joel Embiid. So they still have no answer for him. Most nice that he's going to be my choice. You know, I just the way it shapes up, he's likely going to carry them.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's possible. My player of the game tonight is going to be Ben Simmons. I don't know what it is. I just have this feeling that he wants to come out tonight and show the franchise and show the fans what he's worth and show that and not that he's someone who's like, oh, I have to prove something, because he really doesn't. He's got a contract. He was the number one pick in his draft. He is the point guard of this team. But I just have this feeling that he's going to come out and do really well tonight. So with that, who do you think is going to come out with the W tonight? What do you think the scoring is going to be? What's your thoughts?
I don't think it'll go to overtime. I think the Sixers will win. I think the Heat shot their shot Tuesday. There's so many things going against them right now. The Heat. There's just a lot of that stuff from the other night is probably unsustainable. When you look at these back to backs, you ask yourself, does the team have a different way to beat you? Right?
Yeah.
Can they beat you in multiple ways? And it's hard to see that in the Heat. If you have a superstar, you don't need to change what was working in order to find a different way to beat them.
Yeah.
They just don't have that. So, you saw their script and they did a hell of a job. But it's really hard to think they'll hang in this one.
Yeah, and I think also with that, guys today like Tyrese Maxey, who it was like it's his first game guarding all these NBA players, and mind you, like Tyler Hero is a young NBA player, but he is a legitimately good player in the NBA. And I think tonight they're probably going to stick Tyrese Maxey on him again and give him another shot to guard him a little bit better without fouling out. So, and honestly, I honestly think he did pretty well guarding him yesterday, all things being said, until the end when he got a few nicky-knack fouls on him. But altogether, I think he did pretty well till the end of the game. So Mark says Score will be 126-118 Sixers. What do you think, Jay?
Uh, I mean, I think a high scoring game makes sense because the Sixers are incentivized to play at a high pace and try
Yeah.
to wear the Heat down. Um, but I don't know. Let's look at the first quarter,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll have a better sense for how it's going to go.
Okay. And I mean, Dunder Dude says, I got Sixers as well, maybe 109, 106. I'm going to go a little bit closer with Mark. I think the score is going to be a high scoring game for the Sixers. One, because of pace, but two, they also just got back Tobias Harris and Shake Milton. Obviously, Matisse isn't a huge offensive weapon for the team, but obviously, guys like Shake Milton and Tobias Harris coming back in the frame of things, both of them basically 15 to 20 point scorers per night. If Shake's on a good night, he especially him and Tobias. But so it should be interesting. But I'm excited to see what happens. Let's get to some questions here. What do we have? Yola Boy says, "Do we have any chance against the Nets in a 7-game series if this team stays the same?" What are your thoughts on that, Jason?
I'm sorry. What was the question again?
I'll answer it first, and then I'll let you think
Okay.
about it. So the question was, do we have any chance against the Nets in a 7-game series if this team stays the same? Personally, I think you do. I mean, it's going to be tough because they do have a lot of offensive potential and a lot of offensive weapons that are just blatantly obvious. I mean, you have two of the best scorers ever on one team right there with James Harden and Kevin Durant, in my opinion. And you still have a guy like Kyrie who may or may not be playing for that team by the end of by the playoffs. I'm not sure. But ultimately, if this team stays the same, I think they'll be serviceable. I mean, the Nets still don't have a big man really that can compete with Joel Embiid. DeAndre Jordan. Now they got rid of Jared Allen. DeAndre Jordan's the only legitimate big man they have, and even he is at his older age now, and he cannot keep up with Embiid. So it should be interesting because I think in a playoff series, it'll be really hard for them to keep up with Joel, but it also is going to be really hard for us to keep up with James Harden and Kevin Durant. So not even counting Kyrie Irving there. What are your
Yeah,
thoughts?
I think it, I think Kyrie is a problem for every team, but in the last 2 minutes of a close game, that's a nightmare scenario against that team. So, do you have 4 to 5, tight games with 2 minutes left in a playoff series? You probably do. And they're just a tough matchup in the last 2 minutes. The rest of the time, you know, I just think that team has major nightmare chemistry potential. I
Mhm.
think it could go off the rails really easy. Um, so, I can see a lot of frustration with each other developing. I can see it working great and them just like winning a ton of games and then being just a super tough out in the playoffs. But I could also see it just like guys yelling at each other, no shows. My thoughts on Kyrie Irving are pretty clear. I don't think he helps teams except for in those last 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very similar to you where that group of guys where some of them are very opinionated and they also are all top, like you could argue that every single player on that, like those three stars are all top 5 at their position. And you could argue both, like two of them are top 1 or like top 2. I would say James Harden's the best shooting guard in the league. Kyrie Irving, you could argue that he's top 5, but in my opinion, he's top 10. And Kevin Durant is easily in the top 3 and best and small forwards in the league. And it's just like all that talent on one team, as much as it looks amazing, it's very, very hard to keep that from breaking apart. It's a lot of egos. It's a lot of people who have to sacrifice. And mind you, Kevin Durant's used to that, and Kyrie is used to that a little bit. I don't think he wants to sacrifice. We saw that with the Celtics. We saw that even with the Nets. So it's very volatile. It's very volatile.
I don't. Anyone who knows me knows that I have really high expectations for point guard, and the point guard has to make other players better. Showing off your array of moves is awesome for Sports Center.
Yeah.
But that is like the extra stuff for a point guard to have. Those things are gravy. The non-negotiables are: can you make other players better? Are you unselfish? Are you building a team? Are you making sure everyone gets fed and everyone stays locked in and engaged? And Kyrie, to me, just seems like a guy who's just very proud of himself and very, very, very happy with himself. And I think Kevin Durant, I think one of the reasons they moved Jared Allen is, and I was talking to Anthony Puccio during the Brooklyn series 2 seasons ago about Durant. I said it makes all the sense in the world. And then even when he got hurt, I said, well, worst case scenario, I would sign him. Worst case scenario, comes back and he's the best center in the league. And so don't be surprised when they start playing him center at center, right?
No, yeah, that makes sense.
It's a nightmare lineup to go against when he's the center out there. But at the end of the day, all of those guys need a lot of dribbles to get their shot.
Yeah.
So there's going to be a lot.
It's funny because a guy like Kevin Durant is actually, to me, Kevin is literally the only one that can be doesn't need a lot of dribbles to get a shot off, in my opinion.
No, he doesn't need it, but he so many good things happen when you let him operate.
Oh, definitely.
So it's just got very major boom or bust potential.
Yeah. No, I listen. I full-heartedly agree with you. Dunder Dude says, "Wait, Toby is in." Yes, Dunder, Toby is in. I appreciate you coming back to the stream. Always seeing you here, Dunder. Toby is in tonight, and honestly, that's one of the guys I'm excited about. I'm excited to see if he can keep up the consistent. And obviously, I'm not sitting here expecting him to be shooting 60% and 50% from three. But I am excited to see guys like him, Shake, and probably Matisse back as well.
The only guys out tonight are Seth Curry, Furkan Korkmaz, and Vincent Poirier. So everyone else is available.
Yep. Chris Coyle, what's up, Chris? Long time no see. Just kidding. Hey, you streaming the game tonight? I only see you. No, Chris, we are not streaming the game tonight. If you are with us normally, we do not stream the game, but we sit here and we have fun with you during the game. So make sure you keep coming back, like and subscribe to the channel, comment for us as well. Make sure you go check out thepaintedlines.com. There's a lot of articles on there. I know Jay Blevins right here also posts on there at times. So go check that out and go follow us on all social medias at The Painted Lines. Let's see. Looking up in the comments here. I think Dunder's talking about the Sixers. Imagine having Harden on this team. The chemistry would shatter. I don't know. I don't know if I agree that chemistry would shatter if he was on this team. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one.
Just imagine how much trouble Matisse Thybulle would get in over biscuits if Harden was on this team. How many biscuits would they need? So many biscuits this team would need.
Oh my God! Yeah, I mean, with Joel and Harden on the team.
Yeah. I mean, Popeyes would close up shop when they saw the Sixers rookies in the parking lot, they'd be like, "Nope, close it down.
We don't have enough. We don't have enough.
There are not enough biscuits in the world."
Not enough rookies in the world to hold them all. Okay, let's let's see. Oh, hi, Aram. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming back. Let's see. Last year Clipper issues. That's I guess what Mark thinks is going to happen with the Nets.
Yeah, it could. It could. I mean, how many games are they? We talked about them being great in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But how many games of that is it going to take while Kyrie watches Harden take the last shot before he really gets upset? Right?
Yeah, so that's kind of one of my questions because like the game time it is same starting lineup out there. Oh, Kelly Olynyk was playing last time. Ben being aggressive off the start with the miss, but yeah, I mean that's one thing that I'm kind of wondering about is like with the whole taking shot at the end of the game, and like mind you, Kyrie did say when he first signed with the Nets, that he's got a guy next to him now in KD that he like trusts to take that last shot in the game. And obviously I think you can trust James Harden with that as well. But how is he gonna feel when he gets that many less touches because he's got a guy like that next to him?
I mean, how egomaniacs only are happy when their ego is being served. So,
Enough said. Dunder Dude says Dakota rang the bell tonight. Why? I mean, Dakota hit a very key shot in the other day's game against the Heat. So I think also they're just letting everybody on the team ring the bell.
Yeah, there's nobody else to really ring it.
Yeah.
You can't bring in celebrities. You can't make it a ceremony. So it's going to be your players, and why not after he makes a big shot?
Exactly. GBN Bagel says we got a sharpshooter for the next 15 years, Curry and Joe.
I mean, 15 years is a stretch.
Yeah, a little bit. Joe Show says no dives. No, sorry, Joe. Dives will not be with us tonight, but you can check him out on a live stream really early in the morning if you want, where he's doing live stream about the new TV series coming out on Disney Plus called WandaVision. So if you want to check out Dives, go check him out there.
Yeah, it's at 3:30 a.m. So we're going to be split screening Dives reacting to WandaVision and Jimmy Butler practicing. So it's going to be like a dual screen thing. 3:30 a.m. Like, why not? Right?
Oh my God, that's amazing. GBN Bagel says Isaiah Joe going off tonight. I mean, listen, we got you hope. I mean, I think everybody hopes a lot for Isaiah Joe. Looking like Tyrese Maxey off to a good start too, Dunder Dude. I agree. Tyrese pulling up with the midi. Looking good. I'll tell you what, if Tyrese Maxey can be a consistent shooter, and I posted this on Twitter today in response to something our man Brian Jacobs said. With the starting lineup, like exactly like this, I really could, or sorry, not exactly like this. Having Seth Curry and Tyrese Maxey, rather than Tyrese Maxey and Danny Green, but I really could see him getting that starting spot if he can consistently get jump shots off, and whether it be 3-point shots or creating his own shot with the starting lineup, because I think that's the only thing that the coaching staff is really concerned about, I would assume, with having him out in the starting lineup.
Yeah, I think I'm not convinced he fits the Morey ball philosophy of threes and layups.
Yeah.
The pull-ups are in that soft spot of the zone that teams are just giving up right now. But if you can hit them at 55% plus, it's a really good open shot. Those are the shots you want when you're down one.
Yeah.
With time expiring, but teams are willing to live with young players taking the 16-foot pull-up mid-range. It's just the way that the game is going. You look at shot charts, and those are like the naughty shots. So
Yeah.
the good thing is none of them are contested. They're all wide open.
Yeah, he seems to be good at creating space right now.
He gets to a spot, which is super encouraging.
Yeah.
But those are the shots that will kill you in the long run, right? Because if it takes you 33 shots to get 39 points, there are more efficient ways to get offense.
Yeah. Excuse me. Project Release says, what's the score? The score is right now 14 Miami, 11 Sixers, and the Miami is putting the ball in from their baseline. Excuse me.
What's going to be our halftime discussion, non-basketball related?
What's going to be our halftime discussion, non-basketball related?
Yep.
Non-basketball related. I don't even know. What do you think? What do you want to talk about halftime?
Anything. Why don't we let the viewers decide? Tell us what you think, what you'd like us to talk about during commercials and halftime. We'll talk about it.
Yes, definitely. Let's see. There's too much space on the. Chris says there's too much space on the floor with Toby playing tonight. Damn.
Too much of it.
Oh, there's so much. Sorry, read that wrong. I saw two O's, and for some reason I said two instead of so. This is Sixers Live, LOL. Because Rodney said, how far do you think the Nets go? Yeah, you tell him, Dunder. I mean, we can talk about the Nets a little bit. Why don't we we could talk about some of the trades and everything like that and how we feel about some things during some of the commercial breaks, like right now. So we can talk about that a little bit more, get into some depth with that. So what did he say again? He said, how far do you think the Nets go? So let's start that conversation by saying what position in the seeding for the playoffs do you think they're going to get?
I don't want to predict any seedings because of the chaotic nature of rosters right now.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. It's definitely hard to predict something when you haven't seen it on the floor.
I mean, that big three is so fiercely independent of their own time. They all, well, two of the three really like going out at night, being around people, and that's just creates huge uncertainty for that team. You know, like, do they get hit with COVID? There's, I don't know.
No, I mean, I get that. Aram says, I think the Nets are worse now. Really? I don't know if I agree that they're worse. I feel like if you're looking at it from a perspective of you're looking at a perspective of overall the team, like, okay, if their bench comes out, then yeah, they're not going to be as good, or as like their center game is not nearly as good, but like overall, they're gonna win more games this year, in my opinion, because of it, because of the moves they made.
They're gonna win almost all of the close games.
Yeah.
So, if they will probably only die by virtue of self-inflicted wounds, right? They are their own biggest threat.
Dunder Dude says Nets 4, Sixers 3 in a 7-game series.
I wouldn't want to go to a game 7 with them.
Oh no. I mean, you've got two guys who have both hit big shots in NBA finals on that team, and you have another guy who has been to the NBA Conference Finals and hit big shots as well. So that's definitely a scary roster when you're going into a 7-game series with a team, especially in the 7th game of that series. Is that cupping marks on Toby's arm? Do you see that? I don't really care about that much, but interesting question.
Yeah.
It might be. It's a way that players sometimes recover. It's very possible. I didn't look for that. Chris Coyle says, I think the Nets just messed up their team. I don't think they can win this year. Next year is their only chance, and then they have no future after that.
Leave it to the Nets to completely throw their future away. So, I mean, there's a lot of parallels to the trade they made with Boston for Garnett and
Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce. It has to work. It has to work. I think Coyle is right. Next 2 years are their window. It has to work. I don't see them holding together team chemistry for more than a season and a half or so. So really bold of them, especially with a new coach who apparently doesn't get along with his point guard. So, they got a ton of ways to kill another team, but they can really hurt themselves as well.
No, I mean I completely agree with you.
Tobias, by the way, a lot of stuff about Tobias. I mean, who can guard him on this Heat team right now? Like,
yeah,
he's a matchup nightmare for them right now.
Speaking of the Miami Heat guarding the Sixers right now, the Sixers are on a 7-3 run. Tyrese Maxey just had a nice dunk though. You love to see that. It seems like we're being really aggressive about getting to the basket, which I like right now.
That was a great run-off screen. I think that was Robinson.
Yeah, it was.
That was awesome. Those are the plays, those are the JJ Redick type plays that you love to see. He's going to have to score a ton for them.
No, I mean, I agree. And he's capable of it. Duncan Robinson is no joke. And that's, it's insane to me how, like, a guy can, like, that good at, like, a specialty in basketball can squeeze through the cracks like that. And, like, I've read into his story a little bit more, and apparently it has a lot to do with his growth was a little bit late and his, like, understanding his body and, like, the weight, the balance of his body and everything came in a little bit later than most people. But, like, not a lot of people understand this, but, like, Duncan Robinson isn't, like, that typical undrafted free agent that just came out of college, like, 2 years ago. Like, Duncan Robinson isn't young. I believe he's let me look real quick, but I'm pretty sure he's 26 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not like he's like a guy who spent 4 years in college and then a year and then a year in the G League and then came in and was playing well. Like, he's not the typical 23-year-old guy. Like, he's 26, turning 27 this year.
And his game will age well. Just based on what it is.
He'll be the Kyle Korver. That's
Kyle Korver is the obvious comp. Yep.
He'll be around till he's 45, especially with his length. Like, the fact that, like, if he was a little bit shorter, I could see.
That was a nice move. That up and under from Harrow.
Yeah. No, it definitely was. If he was a little bit shorter, I could see him lasting a little, not lasting as long. But because of how big he is and how lengthy he is at his size, like, he's just gonna be ridiculous.
Yep. Gabe Vincent, huh? Wow.
Tyrese Maxey with another jumper. Gabe Vincent is really. This is what I'm talking about. Gabe Vincent. I had no idea who he was until yesterday. He can shoot it.
Yep.
He can really shoot it.
So again, that Maxey shot is exactly what the Heat would love to give up. They're
Yeah.
banking that he's not going to make 65, 70% of those shots, but that specifically that spot, that's the Patrick Ewing spot on the baseline. That is the worst shot in basketball, right?
Mhm.
It's just the worst spot on the floor analytically for generating points. So his area of growth, I think everyone should watch for is can he start to make take better shots, right? But it's really nitpicking. I know it's really nitpicking. It's
Yeah.
just before we anoint him a 10-year All-Star player on a championship team, you just have to realize that for the opposing defense, those are the shots they want
They
the
want you to
Sixers to
take.
take.
Yeah. And
So
but I will say that that's funny you say that because I don't remember where it was. I think we put a poll out, either it was on Twitter or it was on YouTube, and one of the questions was, what do you want Tyrese Maxey to get improve on the most? And some of the answers were like perimeter shooting, like lengthening his distance, like what stretching the court more, like stretching his range, um, a bunch of different things. But one of our answers was better like shot selection and IQ. And honestly, that's my biggest thing. Like if he can grow that IQ and become a legitimate point guard who understands the game, understands how to get his teammates involved, understands when and where it is best for him to get his own. Like I think that is the biggest thing for a guy like him, especially on this team.
yeah, I agree. Like the next step for him is when teams really are forced to take him away from his shots away. Is he setting up teammates for easy shots that are higher percentage shots?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, I know this all sounds like super nitpicky. He's 4 for 4, but again, the shots he's taking, he has to hit at a 55% clip or better for them to be actually helpful for a team. Um, it's just that you're not going to get fouled on those shots. So
Yeah.
you're not going to get extra points at the free throw line. You're not going to get M1s. So they're a cap of 2 points per shot, which he's actually at right now. 4 shots, 8 points. He's at 2 points per shot. But that's your absolute maximum. And even at 55% on those pull-ups, over the course of the game, that's 1.1 points per shot. And they're just better shots the team can take than that.
Yeah, and I think a big thing to understand about Tyrese Maxey is this could be a guy that at the end of a game could be taking a shot like that.
Yep.
And I
Yep.
think that's what's exciting about him. So let's move on. Dunder Dude says defense is kind of lacking, and he says I'm liking the offense, but our defense is taking away from the offensive success. What do you think about that based on how this game's going so far? By the way, if anyone wants to know, the Sixers are down right now 25-22 to the Miami Heat with 4 minutes left in the first quarter. By the way, our boy Matisse Thybulle getting in the game right now, guarding Andre Iguodala coming up the court. Right now in the game is Tyrese
Sure.
Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, Tobias Harris, Shake Milton, and Joel Embiid.
Yeah, it was a bad turnover on Maxey. It's just a high difficulty shot pass that he tried to make. And again, to your point, growing as a point guard is the next step.
Yeah.
That's an extremely high degree of difficulty on the pass he tried to make. Cross court, 45-degree angle to feed the post as Embiid is leaning towards the baseline or towards the basket. Just really, really tough. And then Embiid has a bad turnover himself. Oh, they gave him a foul. That's That's
Yeah,
a
what
bailout.
happened there?
That's a bailout. I haven't seen the replay, but that was a bad pass as well.
I agree. To be honest, I was kind of confused. I also don't have my sound on, so I have no idea.
Yeah, same.
See right there. Oh, okay. They bailed him out too. Shake right now just brought up the ball and pump faked on the inside. He had Matisse Thybulle on the corner pretty open. I was kind of hoping he was going to make that pass.
Oh, that was a defensive 3-second. That's what that was.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So he really got bailed out.
Yeah, he did. Considering that was an off ball. Yeah. Shake, to his credit, has a pretty good free throw rate. He actually gets himself to the line quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Well, something that helps him, and he's not scared to create contact at the rim. And he also has like long enough arms where if he jumps up in the air, he can compete with a center at times if he can get that verticality and get around him. And he's pretty crafty around the rim as well. So you'll see that. And you love really Matisse is pissed right now because he just got a foul called on him when he was he blocked Tyler Hero's shot and or Duncan Robinson. I couldn't tell. And it was Tyler Hero, and they called a foul, and he's not happy.
A little bit of a phantom, but those. I mean, this is why he got relegated to the bench last year. Is those kind of gambles, and with the minutes you're expecting him to play, you can maybe give him some leeway to gamble like that, but expecting to block a guy's jumper from behind and not get a foul call it's ambitious.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, and that's something that is a little tough with him. But I will say, he's trying to do what he knows best, and I think it's just he does typically have good defensive IQ when it comes to or I shouldn't say defensive IQ. I should say defensive. I don't know what the right word is for this.
Recovery. He's a good.
Yeah, recovery is a good word.
Yep.
Like he's good at getting to where he needs to go, but the problem is that he just the way he's doing it is an easy way to make mistakes and get fouls called on you that can affect the team poorly.
Hell of a pick and roll right there with Shake and with Embiid. Embiid got blocked on it, but that was absolutely perfect timing, perfect pass. Just excellent. Like that. Most of the time, that's going to be a bucket. So hell of a play by Shake there.
Right now, Embiid out of the game. Howard in for him. You got Shake Milton, Tyrese Maxey, Matisse Thybulle, Mike Scott, and Dwight Howard. You really notice Shake is really good at commanding the pick and roll.
Yeah, he is good at it, and you see that right there, like those are the outlets that unlock Dwight, and it's part of the reason I think you see Shake off the bench is you want to match him with Dwight as a roll man as much as you can because Shake's probably your best pick and roll ball handler on the team.
Yeah.
Not probably.
Thunder dude said Joel okay. Did Joel get hurt?
He was walking a little bit weird, but with Joel, there's no way to tell.
Joel Maxey, Tyrese Maxey for 3. Marquise Green. I'm sorry, Marquise. Stevens back. Just joined. JoJo got a poop again.
Yeah. So that last possession with the Maxey 3 is like a perfect example of base offense that teams run.
Yeah.
Maxey rolled up to above the break. He was in the corner. He rolled up. You see the defense collapsed. He would have been wide open in the corner, but he rolls up to provide an outlet for Milton. So that was like picture perfect scheme that they want to run. Danny Green, I think it was Danny Green. No, it was Thibault was in the other corner as well. So Miami last game and Atlanta did this as well. This is the book on the Sixers without Steph Curry is they just want to deny the entire paint to the Sixers.
They never had Steph Curry.
Seth Curry, sorry.
They also never had Joel Maxey. Because I almost said Joel Maxey.
We're not gonna enforce comma rules in here. Yeah, I think Maxey's a really interesting case, and developing him as a point guard will be really important.
No, I agree. So far, what do you think the keys to this game are? Because right now we're obviously not really creating separation from them right now. Shake just drawing another foul.
Yeah, if
Andre Iguodala, by the way,
it's like this. The Heat are shorthanded, so you want to get them in foul trouble. It's like a backbreaker for them. If you can get guys in foul trouble, where do they go from there? They have to change the way they play defense. Mm-hmm. So it opens up a ton of things. Normally you'd want to put their rim protector in foul trouble, but tonight it really doesn't matter. If you get a couple of guys in foul trouble, it changes the way that they have to play.
I'm like super, super impressed by this Gabe Vincent guy. I'm not going to lie. Marquise Green says, nothing is better than to see the Sixers coming back fully healthy. Only a Seth Curry away from being fully healthy. Not yet. I mean, they still need to get Furkan back in here. Who else do they need to get back in here? Furkan, Seth, Terrence Ferguson. I don't know if he's available and he's just not playing, or.
I mean, Terrence Ferguson isn't. No one should think he's in their long range plans. He only enters the rotation, I think, if Matisse Thybulle is traded.
Yeah, I agree.
If you put together, I'll wait until the end of the quarter here. But okay, so you see that was really good play from Mike Scott. This shows how much more comfortable he is in the scheme, getting that shot in the corner. So watch. Not that part of it, but Scott drove in, collapsed the defense, and kicked to the corner. Like those are the easiest, best shots you can ask for. But to get a foul out of that play is fantastic. Again, it's going to be a backbreaker for the Heat. But if I'm Spoelstra, I'm probably daring the refs to foul your guys out.
Yeah.
And, I mean,
no,
think about how we'd feel if we had like 7 or 8 players available and the refs are calling a tight whistle.
Yep. Steven says, is Jimmy Buckets playing tonight? No, he is not. Steven, I'm going to hold on to your question for the end of the quarter. I think that'd be a good question to talk about. Matisse had a nice save on that one. I agree. And there is the end of the quarter. It looks like Shake had a nice shot at the end of the quarter right here. I don't know how he made it, but he did. Shake and the foul. Sixers.
The camera
Sixers definitely missed Shake. I
agree.
I think the Sixers missed Shake.
So look at that Shake 3 right there, and this is what I'm talking about as far as daring the refs to call fouls. That was a foul in a normal game, but you're going to see the refs, I think, ease off of the Heat as far as fouls go.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was clearly a foul. But
No, I agree.
yeah.
All right. So at the end of quarter number 1, the Sixers up 28-20, I believe, right?
All right, so let me go real quick with your trade options. You put together your easiest package to land a significant contributor would be Mike Scott, $5 million, Terrence Ferguson, I think 3.5 ish, and Matisse Thybulle 3.5 ish. So that allows you to match salary. You could probably add a minimum guy as well to match up to like a $15 million contract, returning money. So they have a lot of ways to get to match an $8 to $15 million player.
Yeah.
In order for them to get another star, you have to include. It has to be centered around either Danny Green, 15 million, Mike Scott, 5 million, Matisse Thybulle, 3.5, Terrence Ferguson. So it has to be that package to land a star. So you're adding a lot of picks because you don't have a ton of value in that grouping. Or you have to move a Tobias Harris, who, let's use an example of Chicago with Zach LaVine. You can make a Tobias Harris and a Mike Scott work for an Otto Porter and a Zach LaVine, something around there. If you're going after Bradley Beal, which they should be, then you're probably looking at a Ben Simmons based package for Beal.
Yeah.
So those are like the three most likely scenarios for how they could work something out. There's the star hunting level for Levine or Beal. And then there's just other ways. If you go through the NBA contracts, you can find multiple ways to get a guy between 8 million and 15 million.
Yeah. I mean, can you hear me all right?
Yep.
Okay. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. Did you ask me a question?
Nope. No,
Okay.
we're just talking about different options.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't think that they're going to make any huge deals of like blockbuster trades unless like when it comes to the trade deadline, they really feel like Ben Simmons isn't the guy that they want to build around. I think if that happens, if they say, okay, he really is a minus next to Joel, then yeah, I could see them trying to trade for a guy like Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal. But if he's going to be a guy, if that's not the case, then I think it's just going to be an easy trade for a power forward of some sorts, or even in the buyout market because we do still have money. Let's
and I would say if you want to look at a tier of guy like expiring contract like Lowry Markkinen, who
yeah.
could do a lot for this team and would be super easy to match. So, how upset would people be? Let's ask them, the people. I'm going to throw out a trade that basically works. Tyrese, not Tyrese, Matisse Thybulle and Terrence Ferguson for Lowry Markkinen. Like, how does that strike people when you say that? Like, right? Because to me,
say it again.
Terrence Ferguson and Matisse Thybulle for Lowry Markkinen in Chicago.
I mean, I don't hate that.
Right, I don't think people should hate that, right? I don't think they should hate that.
Yeah, I mean, Chris says I'll do that all day, Blevins.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people love Matisse, and there's a lot of things to like about him. His good plays are really good highlights, and they're dramatic the way he plays defense.
Mm-hmm.
But his limitations are real, and they're not like just going to go away. Certainly not this year.
Yeah, and listen, I completely agree with you. Mark's asking what's Blevins' final score prediction, because you did say after the first quarter you would have that.
126 to 112.
And you were pretty close to what I think he said earlier.
Okay.
So Mark can tell the future. Mag Max says, Mag Max, that should be Mad Max. What are you doing? He says Isaiah Joe is better than Furkan Korkmaz. Ooh.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Ooh,
comparison.
okay, I'm sorry. We can't trade Matisse Thybulle anymore. He just made a really nice block.
See, I mean, there it is. Like that's exactly what you hear anytime you imply you might include him. But that's like that block is what gets people excited.
Yeah, it
about it. But that is a play that is more likely to result in a foul than a block. It just is.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly surprised me they didn't foul him, but but that's what he is. He's a guy who makes who takes a lot of risks, in my opinion. And this might be different for some people, but he's probably going to end up in his career, or at least, sorry, I'm not going to say career. He's right now what Dwight Howard is at times. He's a good defender, but he takes a lot of risks, and he can only really be trusted in short minutes because of that. And that's an issue. That's the issue. Is like the Sixers, what they're looking for in a starting caliber, and even a bench caliber shooting guard / small forward is a guy who can shoot and play defense. And I mean, if he can shoot, then he's going to be fine. But the problem is he's not very consistent with shooting. And I almost think that the Sixers would rather, and this is a very hot take in my opinion, but like I almost think the Sixers would rather have Furkan Korkmaz out there just because they have so much defense on this team, and rather have him out there if he's shooting well than have Matisse out there with the good defense without shooting well.
Yeah, and it really comes down to his defense is good as a bench player in a limited role, but
Dunder Dude said defense should be valued more right now, so it's not easy for me to give up Tease.
Yeah, but if you reward other teams for collapsing the paint, like he's doing right now, then you're giving up. You're making life harder for your stars on the other end. So, it's really clear he can get an open corner three every trip down the floor right now, wide open threes, and he's not making them. So, he's not a good dribbler. I think his shot ultimately will be fine.
What you laughing about?
That replay. I mean, it's clearly a foul. I mean, it's clearly a foul.
GBN Bagel says, why have we not gotten rid of Korkmaz?
Super cheap contract. Could not be a more team-friendly deal.
He says he is a shooter that can't shoot.
Furkan?
I mean, he literally shot. He was our best three-point shooter last year.
Yeah.
He shot over 40%. I don't think you can sit there and say he's a shooter who can't shoot. He is inconsistent and he's streaky at times, but you definitely can't call him a shooter that can't shoot. Speaking of shooters, Isaiah Joe for 3.
Yeah, Joe is just super impressive shooter.
Yeah, it took him a little bit to get comfortable, you can tell.
Yeah, and he's too skinny right now, but if you can put weight on him, he's going to be just a really nice piece to have. And I like the way his mind works. I think I've mentioned this on Twitter, but I like the way his brain works. I actually like his defensive instincts. That was a hell of a play by Joe right there defensively. That was a hell of a play by Isaiah Joe right there defensively.
Not your average Joe, Dunder Dude says.
Hey Joe lyrics. I love it, Steve. Go to the next one. Yeah. Hey Joe. It's awesome. Great song.
I really do think if Isaiah Joe can be consistent shooter for this team, I do think he ends up replacing Matisse Thybulle on this team. If he can keep it up shooting and he plays as good defensively as I think he can.
Yep.
I think there's a very good chance that the Sixers start, especially even this season. I think the Sixers could see Matisse as an asset that isn't as valuable to them, and they could easily be trading him for a guy like you were saying, like Lauri Markkanen. Because I think both those guys fit better.
Yep.
For both teams, honestly.
Yep. So I mean, this Marquise. Sorry. There's a reason, and it's just the way that the Heat are playing and the shots that they're willing to give up. They're willing to give up the shots where Ben is not a threat at all. They're collapsing. They're defending the paint, forcing the Sixers to shoot hot from the corners. What you'd love to see is Shake's ability to penetrate into the lane, get to the line, and that's just going to create more and more open threes. But Ben's limitations offensively come out when you see a team play like this.
I will say though, one thing that's a major difference between the Sixers now and I guess what people call them the new look Sixers is that when that happens and when Ben is being cut off and they're letting people beat him from the outside, we actually have guys around them now that can hit shots more consistently than we have had in the past. I mean, you look at a team like last year where we have Josh Richardson, Josh Richardson, and my goodness, name's escaping me right now, but specifically Josh Richardson, in my opinion. Al Horford. I literally couldn't remember that name. Around them, this is just so much different by having guys like Shake Milton, Seth Curry, Danny Green, Isaiah Joe, like any of them who are hitting shots. It's just gonna be such a big difference for this team. What do we got going on here? What did he say? GBN says Cork, not Matisse, when it comes to Isaiah Joe replacing anybody. I think Cork is on such a good deal that, and it's not like you always want to have a good shooter on the team, like, or at least like somebody, even if they're a streaky shooter, if he's able to be on the team and be able to be a guy you can just throw in short minutes and shoot off the bench, which he can do that. I think you keep that on your team. But Matisse, because he's such a valued asset on defensive end, you can get a value, and he's paid a little bit more than Cork is. You can get a little bit more for him on the market, especially for a guy like Lauri Markkanen when both of them were first round picks.
Yep. I'm going to bring up the current shot chart real quick. So Sixers are shooting lights out. This is all really good stuff, but those corners are wide open and they haven't taken that many of those shots. Yeah. So some of these shots are just not great, even though they've gone in. Not the shots you'd want to construct a plan around, but you know they're playing lights out. They're shooting really well.
Yeah, which I mean, and this is something I've said before. Like when this team is shooting well, you can't stop them. You really. Oh my God, Shake is on one tonight. Shake is on one tonight. Shake with a 3-point shot, hits front rim, bounces up, hits glass, and then goes in.
Yeah, I I know Shake really well, and there's no way he was happy about being in protocol for the last week or so.
Hell no.
He is too serious a person. And I would imagine he's been dying to get back out there.
Yeah, you want to talk about your relationship with Shake a little bit?
Well, not too much, but I mean,
Yeah.
Shake was. I've been following Shake since really day one of his Bluecoats training camp. He was not in the Sixers training camp in any meaningful way as a rookie. He was coming off of injury. He fractured a vertebrae near the end of his college season. Fell in the draft as a result. He was projected as a late first round pick. As a rookie, he scored a ton in Delaware for the Bluecoats, but he's really developed a point guard's skill set at the NBA level just within the last calendar year, I would say. And I've interviewed Shake many times. I've spent time with Shake one-on-one many times. He's incredibly thoughtful, humble, intelligent, and he's a very calm and thoughtful person. So I think those are the things that encourage you for his like long-term ability to help a team in the playoffs. He's not an explosive athlete, and yet you see where his dribble and his instincts allow him to get into the teeth of the defense. His ability to shoot is obviously near elite. And as if on cue, I don't know what that
I don't know what happened either, but that was like a nice shot by him.
Yeah.
Real quick, Steven says he credits Brett Brown for developing Malik. Would you agree with that, or do you think it's deeper than that?
No, I don't credit Brett Brown for it, actually. I think there are elements of the Brett Brown program that I think get credit, but I will tell you that, having been around him, Brett wasn't working with Shake directly.
Oh my God, bro. Dude, Shake is on fire right now. Shake is on fire.
Yeah. I would give Connor Johnson and the Sixers player development staff a lot of credit.
Yeah, I was about to say, I definitely give Connor Johnson like most of that credit in letting him run that offense down at the G League and giving him that confidence as like coming up.
Yep. Tyler Lashbrook is a name probably people don't hear a lot as a player development coach, but Tyler worked with Shake basically every day. I watched.
Oh my God, bro! Oh my God! Did you see that?
I think I'm 5 or 10 seconds behind you.
Tell me when you see that, because you're holy shit.
Yeah, the
Isaiah Joe block on
as
Hero.
we all said on draft night, lockdown defender Isaiah Joe, as we all predicted.
That was a ridiculous block right there.
Yeah.
He put him on his ass.
Yep. So yeah, back to the point. Brett Brown directly didn't really have much to do with Shake's development.
Steven said Larry Brown. So do you think Larry Brown had a lot to do with it over in SMU? If you guys don't know, by the way, SMU is where Shake Milton went to college, and that is also where Larry Brown is the head coach of.
Yeah, I think he deserves some of it, and Larry said really great things about Shake. But Shake was this guy in high school. He was this guy at SMU. He's been around good coaches. But I don't know that, again, Larry Brown will teach the right decisions, the right way to play. But ultimately, Shake, I think, gets a lot of credit for his own play.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Danny Green, like one thing I love about him, and he just did hit that. Did hit that three in the corner. Something that I love about him and Dwight Howard, having these veterans on this team that have been to been through the biggest moments in the league, is we now have those those older guys that can be veterans on a team and stick up for their younger players while they're playing. You know what I mean? And like we had a guy like that last year in Al Horford, and we have a guy like that in Tobias Harris, but neither of them are as vocal and as like vocally aggressive as sorry, Ben Simmons just shot a three. Vocally aggressive as Danny Green and Dwight Howard are on the floor. He missed it, but I'm okay with it because he shot it.
And you look, that's the shot you want him taking, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want him shooting from three. That's the spot.
No, I agree. That's exactly what you want, dude.
And it looked fine.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Looked totally fine.
Dunder Dude says Ben almost. See, here's the funniest shit is we'll sit here and we'll say if Ben shoots it, we'll sit here and say yes, Ben shot. What's up?
That bridge was tough. Looks like Embiid's neck, maybe.
He's fine.
Nah, his neck got twisted.
Did it? I mean, he's up. He seems like he's doing all right.
Yeah, that'll be a sore neck tomorrow, though.
Yep. I didn't realize Ben still has 0 points in this game. Is that true? Oh, now it's not true. Just kidding. Yo, nice little Tyrese Maxey a lob for Ben. Nothing crazy, just a simple lob. Dude, Joel is getting dunked on today.
Yeah, so Tyrese, with that mid-range, what it does open up, though, is that lob, right?
Yeah.
So when teams and players get tired of watching a guy, even though the coaches will say, let them shoot that, let them shoot that, let them shoot that. Players get tired of watching guys drain wide open 16-footers on you, so they step out, which opens up the lob in the dunker spot.
Yeah. Steven says, Ben don't need to shoot getting the ball to everyone else's. I'm sorry, but this grammar. Ben doesn't need to shoot getting the ball to everyone else in the perfect spot. Come on.
Yeah, but it's not. You have to be able to manipulate the defense.
Yeah.
So I disagree. As a point guard, your job is to manipulate the defense to create easy looks for other people. So, it's just his dribble drive.
This is exactly. I understand what you're saying, and this is exactly what like the growth that I've been saying for a while that he needs to grow, and it's not necessarily the shooting and the range. To me, it's more the IQ of when to get his own and when to get other people involved. And it seems like because when he gets people involved a lot, but if he gets himself aggressive in certain moments and understands when to be aggressive to draw people in, to then be able to kick out to get his teammates involved, that's when I think you're going to see a leap in his game.
Yeah. Yep.
Marquis says JoJo Midi. Heat look dead. Wow, let's go, Toby. Yeah, I would agree with Chris though. Heat do look like they're starting to slow down. I mean, that's to be expected. They don't have a lot of players on that bench of theirs right now.
Yep.
So this is exactly what's been happening with the Sixers, honestly. Like,
yeah, it's unfair.
It is. It sucks because it's not good basketball to watch when you're the other team that's sitting there gassed and not able to do anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Ben Simmons to the line. This is something else that I think you can be encouraged by though with Ben is that he's had he has been driving to the rim more this year when it comes to like getting fouled and getting to the free throw line. The problem is a lot of times is honestly he's not making the same shots he sometimes would in years past, which is kind of confusing at times. I'm not gonna lie, and it's like part of me doesn't understand if he's thinking too much because he's trying to understand the offense right now. or if it's something else.
Yeah, I mean, I think he finishes with his right hand and he shoots with his left hand, and so
Mm-hmm.
there's a there's a point on the floor where he goes from being a left-handed player to becoming a right-handed player, and I don't know. It's just that's really difficult. It's
What?
that he's transitioning. You know, at about 8 feet, he becomes a right-handed player. 8 feet and in.
Yeah.
So I just think
Ooh.
his development is going to be different.
Marquis says, "Let's go, Ben." I'm assuming he's talking about the free throws. Tyrese Maxey is on one right now. Tyrese Maxey's 6 for 6 on the game. Like, I don't know, man. He is looking like he really, and obviously he's just playing. He's playing exceptionally well right this game so far. Um, but like this is when, like, when you see a game like this out of Shake and out of Tyrese, this is when you think like, okay, yes, James Harden is a beast, but do you want to give up the farm? You know what I mean? Like, do you want to give up all those guys that you see so much potential in, and you think that could eventually be really important pieces next to the guys you already have that are stars in this league?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a recurring theme because I think he's so seductive as a player. Um, every team you want to negotiate with is going to want him involved in the package.
Yeah.
So,
No, I mean I agree. Um, I do want to say something too about like games like this, and if people are still like wondering why is it that Joel and Ben aren't like being as centered in the offense right now. This time of the season, and this, like, you're not trying to put all your cards on the table. You're not trying to do everything and like game plan it so much. Like, you're just trying to get through the season. And with like the Sixers are just trying to just play their game. You know, they're trying to spread the ball around, keep everybody healthy, um keep everybody going. I mean, if this game gets closer at the end, like it did last time, yeah, Ben and Joel are gonna try. They're gonna try to take over with those two. But if it doesn't, then it's probably going to be the same basketball, and you're going to see Joel and Ben out of this game by the beginning of the fourth.
yeah, yep. And the the game plan of the other team is going to take away certain things primarily. But what you hope is that your role players shoot well enough to force the other team to go out and challenge them, which opens up everything for your stars, and it becomes just a backbreaking set of decisions for the other team. So everyone knows that Joel is a problem. They're going to try to take away his spots first. Um,
Yeah,
yep. And as long as his spots and Ben's spots are the same, then it just makes it a lot easier for teams to decide on how they want to stop this team. So that's why Seth Curry is just so incredibly important for this
dude.
squad.
And that's the thing is like he's not even playing in this game, and we're up by this much. And I mean, mind you, let's remember that Miami is out a lot of their players, but the fact that we have guys other than Seth Curry who are able to have nights like this just shows the honest depth at certain positions like that we have.
Yep.
Because we can still have a guy out like that who's such a good scorer and be this good. Um, all right, so it's halftime. It is halftime, and let me see what I forgot to look at the score. The score right now is 73 Sixers, 58 Heat. I mean, listen, they're playing. They're doing exactly what they need to do right now. I mean, we're shooting the ball out of our mind for one, and like let's think about this. Tyrese Maxey 6 for 8. Tobias Harris 4 for 6. Danny Green 3 for 7. Joel Embiid's 2 for 5. Like he's got 5 shots on the game, and we had this many points scored. You got Simmons is 1 for 4. Let's look at this. Where's Milton at? Hold on. Milton is 6 for 7. Isaiah Joe's 2 for 2. Dwight Howard 1 for 1. So like, this is exactly what you love about this team is that you're capable of winning a game without your stars having to perform like this. Like literally our stars have only a few shots up in this game in general, and we're winning by this much. And I know once again Miami doesn't have a lot of their players, but still it's nice to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Jay.
Yeah, so here's the first half shot chart for the team, and it's good. It's not perfect, but this is where you see what Miami is trying to give up, and Sixers are shooting well from 3. Let me look up their 3-point percentage.
Honestly, the Sixers are shooting well from everywhere right now. Like
they
maybe,
are. Yeah, so they're 10 for 19 from 3, because a lot of these looks are open.
Yeah, look at this. Alert Shake with 19 points, possible 40-point game. Listen, it's very possible for them to do that. If they end up taking out Joel and Ben, it's very, very possible that they could have him go off. And I wouldn't be surprised if after him being out for so long, if he's like, you know what, I'm coming out here and I'm playing. Like, I'm playing the whole game. But go ahead.
Yeah, so let's just look at these shot locations, right? Because I really do think you can tell a lot about what teams are willing to live with and what they aren't from a shot chart, and how easily the team is getting the shots that they want. I'll tell you this: all of those mid ranges are not the shots Daryl Morey wants them taking. So they're making a lot of them. It looks like outside of the paint, twos are 2 for 5 for 10. So 5 for 10 in mid range is not great. You'll live with that if you're the Heat. That's basically 1 point per shot for those shots. 10 shots in that space is more than you'd want to see. Now, again, you're making a lot of them, but you're still only at 1 point per attempt on those shots. And you can do the math on the other ones, and you're going to see the points per shot is going to be far, far higher on those threes that they're taking, and those shots at the rim. So, yeah. If there's anything to complain about, it's this shot chart having 10 mid-range shots in the first half.
Yeah. And I mean, something that should be obvious, but is obviously to me the difference in this game right now is the fact that well, for one, we're holding the Heat to 35% from the three. They shot the three ball 17 times and only made 6 of them. They've also only made half their free throws out of 11. So, I mean, that's obviously not good for them either. But biggest thing here is we're shooting 52% from 3 and 86% from the line, 58% from the field, and biggest thing, 8 steals. So obviously that's amazing. And even bigger thing, bench points 31 to 14 for Miami. So obviously that's the biggest difference I think in this game is the fact that right now our bench has 31 points and theirs only has 15, and that just has to do with depth. Honestly, we have better depth than them right now, and that's just what's going to happen.
Yep. Again, I think you saw that the refs did sort of swallow the whistle late in that half, so expect more of that in the second half. If I'm the Heat, I don't exactly know how to adjust to this at halftime. They're
Well,
probably
realistically,
doing
there's
as good as
nothing.
they can do.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, there's also nothing you can do when a team is shooting as hot as we are right now. Like, if like it's different if it's like there's one guy on a team that you can key in on and you can put your best defender on. Like if they're like, okay, this guy is killing us, let's put Andre Iguodala on him.
Mhm.
Like then yeah, that makes sense. But the problem for them is it's Tyrese Maxey, it's Shake Milton, it's Tobias Harris, like, and that's not even our stars. Like they're keying on Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. And you can tell by the way they're defending him.
Yep.
But the fact that the guys that they're trying to let beat us are beating them. If they were to switch their game plan onto them, then it would just be Ben and Joel beating them at this point. So it's like you said, it's really the best they can do at this moment.
Yeah, and if you look at the Miami shot chart, it's perfect,
Yeah,
and yet they're still way down. And
and that's
that,
because our defense is playing well.
well,
And also they only have a few players, but
yeah, but this is the concern, right? Because they can't take better shots than they're already taking.
yeah,
So
exactly.
their only chance is by getting super hot from three at this point.
And I
But
will say, and that's something that kept them in games last year when Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson could just kind of will them back into a game from just hitting tough threes or just making a lot of shots early in the shot clock. So I mean, it's very possible, but it's doubtful, being that they can't stop us on offense.
yeah, and if I'm the Heat, I'm absolutely just going balls out with threes in that third quarter
Yeah.
and see what happens. And you're either going to get down by 25 or you're going to get yourself back into it in that third quarter. Again, they Spoelstra can't do much more than he just did, coaching in that half. Like you can't ask for better than this right here.
Yeah. So right now, oh, I'm sorry.
They're shooting 52% from the field, right?
Yeah.
So
They're shooting 52% from three. They're shooting 58% from the field. Or
I've
sorry, hold on. I could be wrong.
got
Oh, wait,
them.
no, you're talking about the Heat. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
52% is the Sixers 3-point shot.
yeah, it's hard to ask the Heat to play better than they played with what they've got. It's probably a pretty helpless feeling for them, but I would just
Mhm.
double down on what they did in the first half. Double down on it. Take every three possible. Hope a guy goes, on complete, out of his mind shooting,
Mhm.
and see what happens.
Yeah, and at this point, it's like you still got to guard Joel, you still got to guard Ben, and you just got to kind of hope that the Sixers role players and young guys like cool down. Honestly, there's not much you can do besides just start giving up shots to Joel. But then if you're giving up shots, if you're letting him go 1-on-1 or even 2-on-1 at times, you're still getting a foul call and he's getting to the line. So we'll see what happens. But so right now in the comments, we got a lot of people talking about Brett Brown. I'm seeing a lot of people talking about the coach. I'm wondering why, but I don't even know how to say this name. But he says, "Love the Brown haters still having him live in their
Metalhead.
from the failure of last year when signing 10 power forwards and 5 centers was the problem." See, okay, Jay, do you want to handle that, or do you want to talk about anything with that?
I just think Brett Brown's I think Brett Brown, his voice lost its impact. People tuned him out. He had been there for too long saying the same things. And I think when things got tough, they didn't look to him for guidance. Um, I don't think it's a slight on Brett Brown to say that that the team tuned him out after 7 years.
Yeah, no. I mean, some guys wouldn't even last that long, so I agree. Oh, real quick. Sixers Mike Scott is out for the game and will not return for the second half with a knee injury. So that is obviously an issue. What are your thoughts about that? Like my head goes straight to Isaiah Joe's going to play more minutes, probably at that power forward spot. You're probably going to see Paul Reed, unless is he already gone to go work with the Bluecoats since their roster's been made.
No, I don't. No, I don't think so. I doubt it. Um, he's listed as available tonight, so
Okay,
I'm sure he's available to play.
yeah.
Um,
So Mike Scott,
but Paul Reed, you probably hope to see Paul Reed because that means this game is well in hand in the fourth quarter.
yeah. I mean, I completely agree. So long term, what do you did you see? Did you see anything like during the game that would have indicated that he got injured? Because I did not see that.
No, but isn't that the injury he had? Uh, Let me look at what he was. He wasn't even on the injury report. Interesting. Let me go back through the injury reports. That might just be an aggravation of the problem he had before.
Could be. You're not wrong. Definitely could be. Um, I'm just tweeting that real quick. So 1 second. Speaking of tweeting, if you guys would like, go follow me and Jay Blevins at Jay Blevins NBA on Twitter and at J_Persichetti on Twitter for honestly nonstop Sixers and content of our own. So if you want Sixers content, definitely go follow us on Twitter and go follow the Painted Lines on YouTube. Subscribe, please like the video. We would really appreciate it. Go check out thepaintedlines.com. We have so many articles. You can find our podcasts on there. You can find like our YouTube on there, but you're already on that, so good for you. Um, find a lot of stuff on there. There's a lot of cool stuff on the website, so go check that out. And go follow us on all social media platforms. In the description of the video, there is a link that should bring you to every other social media site we are on. So you can go follow us, like us on Facebook, anything you want to do. It says in the comments or in the description, it should be a flow page that you can click on. I'll go 1 second. I'm gonna go and copy that so I can put it in the 1 second, people. 1 second. Yeah. So please like the video. We'd really appreciate it. Copy. Jason, you want to talk about Mike Scott and like what and how you believe that affects the backup position for the power forward spot?
I don't think it affects it very much for tonight. We'll see how serious it is, but yeah, he's more of a shooter than he is a pure power forward. So he's a floor spacer. Not a great rebounder, quite frankly. So I don't think it affects their defense all that much. He's just another one of the shooters they've got in the program. So on a night like tonight, I don't think it's a big deal at all.
No, I get that, and I agree. I don't think this is gonna end up being a massive deal. And that I think that's why we've consistently talked about how he could definitely be someone who's available in the trade talks. Marquise Graham says, Jay Blevins NBA, what do you think Sixers actually need to do to become contenders if Ben Simmons won't take the next step and shoot some type of jump shot? What do you think? He thinks nothing.
I think it's a really tricky evaluation with Ben. So I think he offers you so much in so many other areas. Um, I think you just have to decide whether he's so valuable on defense and in transition that you can just put other ball handlers around them and initiate offense in other ways. Um, that it doesn't kill you in the playoffs, which I
Yeah.
think that's the concern. Is in a half court environment, his offense is an issue.
So, guys, if you would like, which we really appreciate it, copy this comment right here, www.flowcode.com/page/painted lines slash. Basically, if you click that, it'll bring you to a link where it pops up with every social media account we have that you can go follow it. We'd really appreciate it. It'll really help us out, and it'll really help us get our information out to more people about when we're going to be on, what we're doing, and also keep you up with information about what's going on in Philly sports. So, yeah, we'd really appreciate it. Go check that out. If you go follow it, if you go follow in your accounts, or if this link helps you, let me know. I'd really appreciate that, so we can have information on whether we should keep doing this and keep posting this in the live streams, so you guys can find us on other platforms.
So Embiid with that corner three off of basically the easiest play in the game, which is the drive and kick to the corner. Simmons got downhill, got far enough downhill before he picked his dribble up to just create just the easiest shot you can get in the game. What's a no 20 required night? What is
What's up?
Dear JoJo, you earned a no 20 required. Does it mean they don't need him to score 20 points tonight?
I guess so. I think that's what it is. That would be my assumption, at least.
Yeah, I mean they should try to blow this team out and get him a nice quarter off.
I mean, here's the thing. If we're honest, like, those are the best nights. Like, if there's a night where JoJo doesn't have to score 20 points, that's you want that. That means it's basically a load management night for him.
Yep. So there's Ben in the dunker spot, but pushed too deep, and to Tobias for the Ewing special, the baseline mid range jumper, which is the shot Miami wants them to take. Oh, Maxey is really impressive with the ball in his hands. High degree of difficulty on that last miss, but really impressive with the ball.
Honestly, and that I think that's what surprised a lot of people, because I don't think anybody expected him to come into the NBA and be as good as he is with the ball in his hands. I mean,
Totally agree. When I think he was presented in pre-draft scouting as a combo, but kind of an undersized two, and
yeah,
it's pretty clear he's a scoring first point guard who, if he develops into a floor general, he just becomes a hugely valuable player.
no, I agree, and like that's the big thing here is, like, if he can become that floor general and become, like, better with decision making, that's the key for his development.
Yep.
And I think that's more than obvious. Sorry guys, I'm tweeting stuff for the Painted Lions Twitter account. Steven says here, this is interesting. Steven says people underestimate Simmons' role to create. What do you think he means by that? Because I like my perspective on what he's saying here is that like people don't think that like he creates offense.
So no, I think maybe the penetrate and kick, which he just did, basically the unforgivable one, which is leave your feet,
Yeah.
then look for a guy. Those are the unforgivable passes. You know, he's a very good passer, but he gets caught in the air having picked up his dribble with nowhere to go way too often. And that, like, I think it's happens more now than it did 2 years ago because teams have solved how to wall him off from getting to the rim. Kelly Olynyk taking it to the hoop.
Listen, he's their best driving scorer. What do you mean?
Yep.
Top Steven says top hate faces in Philly history. You want to read these out because I don't know all of them.
So Ty Domi, I would argue Scott Stevens is a more hated figure than Ty Domi. Kelly Olynyk, obviously, very punchable face. Bill Laimbeer, I got yelled at by Bill Laimbeer in summer 2019 after a Las Vegas Aces game in the press conference. Bill Laimbeer is the head coach of the Las Vegas Aces. I was there for NBA Summer League and decided to go over and catch Elena Delle Donne and the Mystics against the Aces. It was a good game. There was an earthquake during that game.
Oh, man.
They stopped the game and actually did not restart it at halftime. And I forget the question I asked him. Something around, I think, defense or something like that. And he yelled at me as a way to yell at his team, which was getting blown out. It is a top 5 media moment in my career. Let's keep going.
He yelled at you, trying to yell.
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, because it's a press conference. He's making a point, right?
Yeah,
probably a point he wanted to not have to make in the locker room. So it was great. It was awesome. As a obviously a kid who hated Bill Laimbeer as a player, it was awesome. Claude Lemieux, good choice. Barnaby, yeah. Oof, Matthew Barnaby was very hateable. Maybe one of the worst instigators in NHL history. Super punchable guy.
What about Simmons? Simmons was a pretty big instigator for the Flyers.
But I think Steven's talking about against
talking to hate
against Philly teams. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kevin McHale, crafty, dirty. I think hate the face. I think Reggie Miller was a hated figure in Philadelphia for a big stretch of his career. A guy you just could not heckle. You did not want to get him upset at you. You just had to take it because he was the kind of guy, if he got mad at the crowd, he would just make 6 threes in a row. So who else is hated? Let's
Kyle Lowry.
Well, he's a Philly guy.
Yeah, see, but he's not though, because I will say right now, I think so many people will sit there and say that he's not a lot. I mean, okay, I hear two different. I hear varying opinions because I hear some people say he's not a Philly guy because he just flops everywhere. He's not Philly tough, all that kind of stuff, and with that. But then I also will hear and he always just bitches and moans to the ref. But I also hear, well, he went to Villanova, so he's a Philly guy. So it's it's very. Some people are on different sides.
It's a straw man on how you feel about Villanova.
True.
And Villanova is polarizing.
Yep. I can't tell if we're a Villanova channel, a Temple channel, a North Carolina channel. I can't tell. We got so many people. We got Rob's North Carolina. Yeah, obviously Chris Deibler went to Temple and played D1 baseball there, so he's a Temple guy. Krell, he's a Villanova guy. I think isn't Brock Temple too? So it's just like
I'm Temple.
your Temple. So I don't know. We got a lot of Temple guys here, so it looks like Villanova's going down. My goodness. So Shake Milton, best basketball player you've ever watched. Why are you laughing?
No, he's not the best basketball player I've ever watched.
No, I
but
think he's the next Michael Jordan.
No, but what is his comp?
6'6". What's his comp? That's a good question.
Yeah.
What is Shake Milton's comp?
Mm-hmm.
I always said Lou Williams, just because he seemed like he has that decisive dribble. He's got a mid-range game. He's able to knock down threes. He's got a very cool, calm demeanor where he doesn't really let like things are outside of him rattle him much. Like that's kind of what like my mind goes to. But I feel like that's an easy comp just because he's like 6-man, cause like he's just that guard that he's a scoring guard off the bench kind of thing. But he can run a pick and roll well, which also makes me think Lou.
Yeah, I think he's an interesting player because of the pace that he plays at. It's not rushed.
I'm trying to really think about this. Okay, I don't want to say this because I don't think it is, but George Hill.
I think he's a lot bigger than George Hill.
Yeah, my mind just goes. I just goes to the decision making,
mm-hmm.
and like the shot maker. Somebody that I think, and this is kind of random, but this is just what I was thinking about when we were talking about comps. Something that I think is interesting is the comp of Tyrese Maxey and Mike Conley.
Yeah, that occurred to me on Tuesday night's game, and I think that's an interesting comp because Maxey's probably a little bit bigger than Conley.
Oh, I think he definitely is.
Conley is probably a little bit better of a point guard now. I really do want to dive into Conley's early year stats, but at first glance, they're fairly similar. And the floater game obviously is what made us think about that originally. Is the giant killer is definitely Conley-esque.
No, I agree.
So
and I think that's where we also went to Tony Parker as well.
Tony Parker was a very interesting comp, but I think Maxey hasn't proven that he can be that level of point guard yet.
No, I don't think anyone's sitting here saying that he is now. I think it's just comps to what he can be based on the sample sizes that he's giving you now.
Yep. Yeah, Conley at age 20 as a rookie had 4.2 assists, 9.4 points, and he is fairly low efficiency as a rookie, which
so
most
you can actually say Maxey's playing better than Conley was when he first came into the league.
Yeah, so 25% assist rate for Conley as a rookie. Let's look at what Maxey's at right now. I'm going to guess Maxey is around, he's around 18 or so, 16, 18 assist rate.
Real quick, let's talk about some stats real quick because I see a lot of people comparing stats as you're looking up stuff. Joel Embiid right now has 8 points, 1 assist, 4 rebounds. He's 3 for 6 from the field with 1 steal and 1 3-pointer made. Danny Green has 9 points, 3 assists, 6 rebounds, shooting 3 for 7 and shooting 50% from 3. Tobias Harris, 14 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, 5 for 8 from the field, and shooting 2 for 3 from the from behind the 3-point arc. Shake Milton going off for 19 points, 3 assists, 1 rebound, 6 for 8 from the field, and shooting perfect from the line and from behind the 3-point arc. Ben Simmons, 23 minutes, 8 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds, 50% from the field, shooting 3 for 6, 2 steals, and perfect from the line as well. Tyrese Maxey, 13 points, 6 for 10, 1 for 3 from the field, with 1 assist and 1 steal. I mean, realistically, this team, man, like it's so fun to watch.
Yeah, it's fun.
Did you click on this comment?
I did. So let's talk about Dennis Smith Jr. because Dennis Smith Jr. was never good, ever. He was never good. He made a ton of.
They drafted him.
He made a ton of highlight plays at NC State. I'm pretty sure it was NC State. Did not help that team. At the college level, he made himself look good. He didn't make the team better. I don't even think they qualified for the tournament. Can jump out of the gym. Made a ton of contested shots, but is undersized, and the fact that he had to take all of those high difficulty shots at the college level, he was just never going to make those kind of shots against NBA level defenders. He was just never good. Totally overdrafted, like a Malik Monk. Just looked great on SportsCenter, but just not a good player. Just not good.
Ben's, please tell me you just saw that.
Yeah, I saw it.
Ben Simmons, a damn good putback dunk, and Shake Milton for 3 coming down the floor. Why can't I hear myself? As you got echo on?
I'm good. Yep.
Okay. Shake, yeah, and then Shake for 3. Ben Simmons may get a triple-double here, Steven. I agree. But go ahead about Dennis Smith Jr. So that was a really nice
no, that was it. Did they just call a travel on Simmons? That was not a travel. That's it on Dennis Smith Jr. Those are the kind of guys, don't fall in love with them at the college level. When you see them, you can't fall in love with guys like that. You just can't.
Dude, this team, man. We can score so many points in a hurry when we're hot. It's ridiculous. Like, and we play good defense too. Like, damn, man. Ooh, Toby. Get up, Toby. Get up, Toby. Ooh, baby. Listen, man, this team, when they're hot, and you just can't do anything about it. But I'll say that's one thing that worries me about this team as well, because I'm like, okay, are we going to be the Bucks? Like, are we going to be the Bucks where at late game situations we can't finish it? But then again, I'm like, if we have guys like Shake and Tyrese who can develop and hit shots like off the dribble at a consistent basis, and you also have a big man in Joel that can get anywhere on the floor and still fade away, get a bucket on his own, like that, I feel like we are still separated from the Bucks a little bit. Because in my opinion, I think like skill wise, I think Joel Embiid's head and shoulders above a guy like Giannis, just purely based on like technical skill when it comes to shooting and getting your shot off in the paint at the end of a game. I don't know. What do you think about that, Jay?
I think Milwaukee they're just a team that's built to disappoint, and Giannis is a great player.
Let's be brutally honest here. Milwaukee is just a team to disappoint.
Yeah, they're built to disappoint you in the playoffs. Like, it stinks that's true, but it is true. Giannis is gonna. I would pick him number 1 in a lot of fantasy drafts.
Yeah,
because of how that team is built. He's just set up to put up huge numbers. But the Sixers, if you take away Embiid and you double off of Curry can make you pay. If you they just have a lot of different ways, once they figure out how to play together, a lot of different ways to beat teams. And the Bucks basically have one way to beat teams, right? And that's penetrate, dunk, or kick for three. They're just going to be so dependent on hitting their threes. When things get really tight in the playoffs, that's when it just becomes difficult.
Yeah. Oh man, I love watching Shake Milton play basketball. I'm sorry, I know I'm not hanging out in the comments as much as I should be right now with y'all, but just um watching Shake Milton with the ball in his hands just so fun. Um Chief of the Pack, nice to see you. I'm
Oh
late,
yeah,
but thank heavens above we didn't trade Ben for Harden. Jim Jamonte says 3 more rebounds for Ben to get that triple double. Yeah, you're not wrong. The Tyus Edney effect. Huh? Jay, you want to look that up for me? Because I don't know if he's trying to play with something. If that's Tyrese and he's trying to play with a play on words or something. I don't know.
no, that's Tyus Edney, 5'10", 47-year-old guard. Obviously retired.
Are you sure?
Played. Looks like he played 4 seasons in the NBA.
I
Who knew?
see. I still don't know what the effect of Tyus Edney means. Dunder Dude says Giannis needs to leave Milwaukee. Ooh. See,
That's not.
honestly, I didn't think he was gonna stay. Like I
He
didn't think he
likes.
was gonna sign the max. But
He's not. He's not somebody that's looking to be in a big city with major media focus on him. He likes Milwaukee. They have 2 beat reporters in Milwaukee. Like, there's very little pressure on Giannis right now in Milwaukee, and he's still managed to make a couple $100 million. So life is good for him.
I mean, that's an understatement. He just made 200 some $1,000,000. That's not that is an understatement. Life is good for him.
Yep.
How many years is left on JoJo's contract? I believe it's 3, as Steven said. I think it's something like that. I think JoJo's a Philly lifer. I don't think he's a guy, unless the Sixers trade him. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's kind of like Giannis, where this is like almost where he grew up in a way. It's like he came here for high school and he played college for a year, but he's one of those guys that he's had so many big moments with this franchise, and I just don't see him. I don't see him going anywhere unless, barring some crazy trade that he doesn't like, or barring him being traded. Like, I'd be surprised if he was going.
Yeah, I think there was a period middle of last season where it was up in the air. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
I think Bam Adebayo's breakout, I hate to say this, but Bam's breakout potentially saved the relationship between the Sixers and Joel Embiid. Because I think there was a period of time last season where he was frustrated. The fans were booing him. He was frustrated. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler is all smiles in Miami.
Yeah,
I do think there's a window of time where there was a trade to be made centered around Bam Adebayo and Joel Embiid, and I think Bam's breakout, especially in the bubble, closed the door on that possibility.
yeah. I mean, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. We got a lot.
Real quick question here. So Brett Brown will be coaching Team Australia in the Olympics. And as far as I know, he is not looking to join an NBA team this season. Yep.
I think this year for a lot of coaches and even players, with COVID and everything going on, it was kind of probably kind of hard for him to find a stable job that he was like excited about. He probably just wanted to let the market settle and see where he wanted to go later.
Yeah,
because he is a coach that I think will be on someone's staff easily. Oh, I like this comment. I agree with it. Shake is a walking bucket. That is true. We got Marquise spitting facts over here. Um, what's going on here? I wish the best for the man, but he might not get great opportunities. I disagree with that. I think Brett Brown is, for one. Oh my God! Sorry, that was deep. Um, for Brett Brown, he has a very good pedigree in coaching, like Jay just said, coaching the Australian national team, but also coaching under Popovich's system. And he's like, I think he's got a lot of, he's going to get a lot of chances in the NBA just because of that alone. And he's also a really good relationships guy. He's got good relationships with a good amount of players and agents. So I think he's going to be fine. But let's talk about Isaiah Joe.
Hey,
My,
Joe.
my God. He ain't no average Joe.
Anybody wants a music recommendation tonight? It's "Hey Joe" by Jimi Hendrix. Because yeah, Isaiah Joe is shooting his old lady from like way down in Mexico way.
Well, here's the thing: is we actually talked about that coming into the year, when, or not coming into the year, but we're previewing the players coming into the year, about Isaiah Joe and how in college, like was he gonna, for the Sixers, was he gonna be able to be a good shooter here, or was he just a glorified volume shooter down in what was it, Arkansas? Was it?
Yeah, but it's perfect, effortless form he's got.
Yeah, exactly.
That translates.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like even a Landry Shamet, who's a good shooter as a rookie. It wasn't effortless. So I watched a lot of Landry Shamet early in that rookie season, where he was having to adapt to the NBA distance, and his shot got a little flatter, so
Yeah.
he had to take some arc out of it, and that just lowers your accuracy.
Yeah.
Joe was effortless, which means range is not going to be his issue. His issue is just going to be physicality, and there's just so many good things with him that are that are happening right now.
No, and I agree. And like like you said, he has that effortless shot, but he also has that size to him, which means, and
Yeah,
if he gets even like more muscle on him, which he's going to as the years go on, he could even extend that range even more. Like, and that's exciting to see.
yeah. I think he's got to put 15 pounds on. I just
Yep.
think that's
Yeah, look at this. Tiago gets stupid props for Joe. Speaking of Tiago, the man himself, will be on our post game tonight. So make sure you stick around because he will be here. So get excited. Something I'm thinking about doing, Jason, actually.
So
What?
hold on real quick. Isaiah
Yep.
Joe, 180 pounds. So,
Mhm.
but there are other reports that he's 165 pounds. Like
Wow.
super light,
That doesn't
super
surprise
light.
me.
Yeah, and that means you probably can't play him much in the playoffs yet.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think there is a chance that if he's shooting the way he is and playing at least and showing that he can play decent defense, I think there's a shot that he plays over Furkan, or at least over Matisse.
I think he'll get ISO'd and hunted on defense.
It's possible.
And
It's definitely
we're not
possible.
seeing that right now, obviously, because
Yeah.
the Heat don't have enough guys to do that. But
Mhm.
yeah, but long term, I think it's again, every indication is positive.
Real quick, I was thinking, what do you think, Jay, about possibility of us starting, like me creating a new stream for the post game, and so instead just the post game is up after this because Dibes obviously isn't going to be able to edit something together and post it. Should we do that? Like end this at the end of the game and then start a new one?
Yeah, and when Tiago jumps on, I'm gonna jump off, I think.
Oh, how dare you? How dare you? Guys, what do you think about that? Will you join back up if I make a stream for after game? If I make a separate one so that y'all can join the post game, what will you guys think about that? Would you guys join that? What do you guys think? Also, don't forget to like this video.
So how much more can you ask? Shake Milton 23 points on 10 shots.
Yeah.
Perfect from the line, perfect from 3. I mean, this is a good game, right? 17 minutes, 5 assists. With that line, you cannot possibly ask for more than what you've gotten from him tonight.
Yeah, and it is just crazy. Oh my God, Tease, what are you doing? You can tell Tease just is kind of lost and he doesn't really know what he's supposed to be doing on offense. At least he's not confident in anything. It seems like he's not confident in shooting, and so he's driving in, but then he's not confident in driving in, so he's passing out. But then he's also not an amazing passer, so he's missing the pass.
Yeah, he's not a good ball handler, just not at all.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing though. Everything I just said, that's exactly what I see. All right, Jason, hold us up for a second. I'm gonna create that as I mean, I'm still gonna be in here, but I'm gonna actually no, I have to leave, don't I? Maybe I can open a separate one. Hold on. I can probably open a separate window and just do that. Yeah, I can.
So yeah, Modog demanding Isaiah Joe, untouchable asset. I mean, no, would you trade Isaiah Joe for LeBron James right now? Probably not.
No?
Isaiah Skinny Joe. Yeah, I think 15 pounds is the mark, right? 15 pounds, I think he becomes a completely different player. I agree with Yams entirely. £15 is the number. So it's a 15-point game. Looks like Simmons is out there. Looks like Embiid is not. Here's the thing. Here's what's great about this is having Maxey and Milton are really valuable in exactly this period of the game where in previous years you were going to have to play your starters until 6 minutes, even in a blowout. These guys don't turn the ball over. They don't go on tilt. And they allow you to preserve leads while they're in the game. And that just, old school load management, Steven. Blowouts are acceptable, but they're old school load management. But it is your starters are getting the lead, and you want your backups to not give the lead back, and that is just what happened for years. You know, you had teams the minute Embiid walked off the floor, it was a track meet to the rim against them, and you just watch these leads dissipate while these guys were on the bench. But you got now two capable ball handlers off of your bench unit that can preserve leads, which gives your starters more rest, allows you to play them less minutes. It's just it's a fantastic combination. Now, if I was bent on that one, that last drive, it should have gone right to the rack because it was open. It could have been splitting the defense. and you had Matisse in the corner, who is not your ideal target for that driving kick. I think he got right into the teeth of the defense and could have finished that one. So not super happy with that last play by Simmons. Yeah, the weight is never going to come during the season with these guys. It's just there's so much cardio in basketball. They are running so much. Putting on weight mid-season is just not something you can expect. This has just got to be a summer project for Joe. Yep, and there really are. We joke about shakes, but there are players that have, especially at the high school level, which have gone on Slim Fast diets to add Slim Fast milkshakes to their diet to gain muscle and gain weight. So protein shakes, weight gain shakes, muscle milk, all of those things are the things you probably would put him on. A guy like Brandon Ingram was eating like 10,000 calories a day for his first couple of years in the league to try to put on weight. And you see Ingram is still skinny, but he started to gain the strength to compete at the NBA level, even though he hasn't put on a ton of weight. So those are things you'd hope for with Joe, that he's able to gain strength, even though he's never going to be a thick body in the league. So yeah, different body types are different. They respond to eating differently and inactivity. But remember, Joel Embiid's 7'2", just a massive human. His metabolism is different. His cardio is different. I think it's just completely different body type. He's going to be able to put on weight much easier than naturally thin guys. So good wide open shot, top of the key, goes in. But again, Ben Simmons, that's not the play you want him making, where he picks up the dribble, turns his back to the basket, and finds an outlet. It's not what you want to see from him. Frosty freeze out is not a thing. There's no crowd in the arena.
No, Frosty freeze out's a thing.
Is it?
Yeah, Frosty freeze out's a thing. They're still doing that this year. They're just
really.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No,
come on, Jay, you've been in the stadium.
Yeah, but it's not announced. There's no crowd to talk about it with. It's not a thing.
They talk about it on the damn, I can't even think of what it's called.
On the broadcast.
They talk about it. Yeah, they also, I believe, if you follow the Sixers on Snapchat, they talk about it on there with your man. Oh my goodness, his name's escaping me. I usually know it very well.
Matt Murphy?
Nah. Man, the guy who normally runs the Sixers games for the entertainment. I can't remember his name right now.
Christian Crosby.
Yeah, Crosby. Couldn't remember his name.
Shake has to have a 7-foot wingspan. He does. He has a 7-foot wingspan. I think he's 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan. And a lot of that is in the shoulders, which is helpful on offense as well as defense. Because sometimes you see guys with crazy go-go gadget arms, and that affects their shooting. Mm-hmm. But when your shoulders are wide, then you get the benefit of the wingspan without having all the extra noodle arm stuff to clean up in mechanics. So he's got a really good frame for the NBA, and the faster he gets, lower body, the more and more progression you can expect from him.
How many points does Maxey have this game?
Okay, let's see. Maxey has 13 points on 6 of 10 shooting.
Would you say he's on fire this game as well as Milton?
Maxey was on fire in the first quarter, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, first half.
Okay. I'm just trying to make sure I'm titling this well.
Yeah, I am serious actually. You know, it looked like he created a wide open shot and he did, but that if we're talking about the Matisse 3, but that is exactly the things that elite teams are going to turn this team over when he does it. When he picks up his dribble and he turns his back to the basket, those are huge red flags, and they will often lead to turnovers, and especially against good teams, they're going to jump the passing lanes all the time when he does that. They know he does it. Isaiah Joe, hey Joe.
Not an average Joe.
So we've got yeah, he's 4 or 5 from 3.
Damn.
That's wild, right?
Yes, sir. Trying to think of what the title is. I was gonna title the post game show Mad Max, Maxey, and Shake Milton on fire. But that now I'm thinking of doing Young Guns, Young Guns are blazing.
There you go. I like
Should I
it.
do that
Yep, like it. Looks like
instead of
Joel Embiid will
just
only have to play 23 minutes tonight.
okay? Shake, Milton, and
Yep, Celtics will make them pay. And really, if you think about it, like it's such an easy gamble for the other team to make to jump that passing lane because of his back being turned and him sort of being taken out of the play when he passes it. It's not like it just leads to scramble mode for the other team. If they don't get that steal, it doesn't really take them out of position. So it's just a bad pass. He's got to stop doing it.
all right. So guys, I just made our broadcast for the post game show. So as soon as this game is over, we are going to hop onto that broadcast. So understand that as soon as this is over, we're gonna go back over there. We're gonna go onto there and put the intro on and then go right into the post game. So don't go anywhere when that happens. And make sure if you want, tell your friends about this, share the streams, please like the stream, and make sure when we put on our next video, like that one too. Please like that one because it will not register for that stream as well. So please, when we start that, like the video. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, where are we at right now? Oh,
23-point game, 8 minutes left. You have Isaiah Joe doing things on both ends. Ben's still out there. He should probably come out of the game. Probably at the next timeout, I would guess.
yeah, he'll probably be out of the game soon. Here's the issue: is that this game is not put away yet, so they're probably keeping him out there just for a little bit longer, partly because of that. But yeah, I think at some point soon he'll come out, and they'll probably. I mean, right now Mike Scott would typically be in this game at the power forward spot, so that might have something to do with it as well. They could be having him in there because they need someone to guard a big man. or a bigger guy. You know what I mean?
No, I think they just all they have to do right now is limit turnovers and create good shots. And I think Maxi, this would be a time where I'd bring Maxi in and just let him get a green light and go to work.
Mm-hmm.
Trust the ball in Maxi's hands. Let him take five or six more shots
Yeah,
before the game's over. I'd put Maxi in at this point.
that's probably what's going to happen. At this point as well, you got to remember that they're probably trying lineups as well. So right now, they're trying out Shake Milton running the point guard, Dwight Howard at the center, Tease and Joe, and then Simmons and Dwight.
Wow, that was a tough shot.
Yeah,
That was
Shake.
a
I mean,
tough
it's Shake
shot.
Milton, man. It's Shake Milton. Shake Milton's built different, you know. Dude, I'll tell you what. It really you can't underestimate the fact that. Oh, I didn't realize Ben Simmons had a triple double right now. I did not realize this.
Yeah, I
Maybe
mean,
that's why they left him in.
it's a silly way. It's a silly reason to leave a guy in
Oh,
when
for
he's
sure.
a week from having a sore knee. It's really just such an arbitrary stat that like why would you do that?
I don't know, man. Are you serious? Kelly Olynyk just pulled a Blake Griffin. Just a quick, uh, uh.
All right, here's a crazy question. Would you trade Tobias Harris for Blake Griffin?
Fuck no.
Okay.
No. It's
A month ago, we heard Tobias Harris had the worst contract in the world of sports.
no. That's people who are angry because they wanted to sign someone better and like because realistically at that time he wasn't playing up to his contract and realistically he is being paid more than he probably should for the role he has on this team. But he also is when he's doing what we need him to do exactly what this team needs when it comes to a guy who can be consistent at the four position from three and can create his own shot at times. Especially when you are playing next to a guy like Ben Simmons at your point guard spot. Blake Griffin is not nearly as good of an offensive like scorer, especially in the catch and shoot, like what they need around Ben Simmons.
I'm not sure I agree with that. I think
No,
I think Blake Griffin is. I think he's not what he once was.
oh, I don't. I'm not saying he's the guy he was with the
But
Clippers and he can't shoot. What I'm saying is, if you're talking about if I'm strictly talking about a guy who has to fit next to Ben Simmons and Joel, and you want a guy who can stretch the floor and also drive to the rim on a closeout, like that's my thing. I think he's a more consistent shooter than Blake is, in my opinion.
yeah,
And I think that's still backed up by stats too. I don't think that's even just really an opinion thing.
yeah. I think Blake had a good stretch from three,
Like 2 years ago.
which unlocked a lot of stuff, but
Yeah.
he's regressed.
He's also I've heard injuries really hold him back.
Yeah,
Apparently a lot like his shoulder, like his right shoulder is like kind of messed up. And so in his jump shot, like his jump shot isn't like what it could be because of it, apparently.
yeah,
That's something that's come out before that because of his shoulder injuries, he like doesn't have the same flexibility he used to. So a lot of his jump shots have to just like come from his wrist instead of using his whole arm to flex. Um Chris Coyle said he will never be able to play up to that contract. This team has so much space when Toby is out there. Look at these two games with the Heat and how they defended. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with that. I mean, I don't think you can really compare the Heat just because of how like basically just like dumbed down this team is
yeah.
because like there's not that many people like out here. But I think you can look back at the first few games of the season and just see the spacing and see the consistency of how many points you can score. And also the fact that Toby's been playing really well on the defensive end as well, which I don't think anybody expected coming into the year.
Yeah. If Daryl Morey can draft like this, it makes you wonder how freaking good we are going to be. So Daryl Morey has a lot of strengths as a GM, but draft eval is not really one of them. He actually typically will trade away his first round picks for win now pieces and more known quantities. I think Morey loves statistical sample size. And I don't think he trusts the sample size in college or the level of competition. So don't get used to the Sixers doing a ton of getting, a pipeline of Shake Milton and Tyrese Maxey's moving forward. I think Morey came in to draft night having only been with the team for a little bit. I think there's a lot more going on with how Maxey fell to the Sixers than anything around Daryl Morey having done a talent eval of Maxey and found like a diamond in the rough. I think you have to credit the Vince Rosman and the pre-existing scouting staff for Isaiah Joe and for Tyrese Maxey.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I mean, Tyrese Maxey kind of falls into your lap there, and I mean, why would you ever pass up on a guy from Kentucky? I think that in itself, you got to think about, like, this is a guy who was on a blue blood school team who fell to you, and it's like a no brainer, honestly. Because realistically, you think about this, he could have traded that pick away to maybe get an even better player for a guy like Al Horford or a guy or like something like that if he really wanted to. And I'm sure he's had the opportunity to trade away Tobias Harris and that pick as well.
I think heading into that night, we kind of expected on draft night for a big move to be made. Yeah. I did not expect them to take a player at 21, quite frankly.
No, neither did I. I thought what they were going to do was they were going to try to get off one of our, like, either Al Horford or Tobias Harris. Obviously, Al Horford it was. And I thought we were going to go for just like a bunch of decent shooters or a bunch of guys they thought could be good shooters in the second round, like Isaiah Joe. But I mean, I'm super happy with the outcome. I don't know about everybody else, but I feel like if you're a Sixers fan, it's kind of hard to not be happy with this outcome. Shake Milton with a good drive to the rim right there.
Yeah, Steve Nash is an very interesting comp for Shake.
Really?
I think they share a couple of things.
Like what?
I don't know that the smoothness to their game, their ability to get by people at what looks like slow and under control speed. So he's not a choppy stepper. He's more of a long strider than a super quick guy. And Nash, I got to think about as a comp. I think Nash was obviously a better passer, played at a faster pace probably.
Yeah.
Was Nash more athletic? Maybe he was maybe a more athletic.
He could jump too, though. I'm not gonna lie. Nash had some verticality when it came to getting to the rim, and I mean, Shake's got a little bit of that too. But when it comes to like really trying, like, Nash wasn't a dunker, but like he could really get up there and like get up into somebody and lay up on somebody. And like Shake can do that too, but I feel like Shake uses more of his length and those like long arms that he has to be able to like get dunks and get up above people and everything like that.
Yeah, so let me do a quick comparison. I'll do a quick comparison between the two.
Better be quick. This game's almost over. We got to move over to the other stream soon. Guys, a quick reminder. When the game hits 0, we are going to switch over to a different broadcast. It will be on the same channel. Stay with the channel, and you should be able to just go right over and click on the other video. We're going to go live right away. We're going to hit the intro, and you guys come over there. Make sure when you get over there, please smash the like button. If you're not already, subscribe. We do this every game. And yeah, make sure you comment. By the way, we will have Tiago coming on here with us, so I hope you're excited about that. Anthony Hands, listen, I'm just gonna be honest with you. This is a Furcon friendly channel. No more Furcon. Never want to hear his name again. We got Isaiah Joe. Listen, let's remember Isaiah Joe is a rookie. Furcon was a rookie before as well, and there's been games where Furcon has insanely good games, and where we praise him, and then he comes back with a shitty game after that. So let's just remember that. This is he's still young. He still needs to get some weight on him, and we can be excited about him, but let's not crucify him yet. And oh my God, Terrence Ferguson is in the game. Wow. Steven said you're going to send Istanbul into a riot. I agree, Anthony. Be careful. Be careful. Tim Lally, what are you saying? You should probably learn about basketball. Where's that coming from, Tim? Come on, man.
That's rude.
Where's that coming from? Tim, man, that's not very nice. I do learn about basketball. I need you to. How about you can ask me a question? Go ahead, ask me a question. I got Jay in here too with me. Maybe he can help me out because I don't know shit, right? Everyone cooking, even Reed. Tim, see, Chris, thank you. Tim's coming in hot. Listen, man, we're just here to have fun. Tim, I hope you can have fun in here, but we're just here to have fun. It looks like you're a Heat fan by your logo, but I appreciate you coming in here. I'm sorry, it sucks. I know it sucks to have to play with no players. We wish you guys didn't have to do that because we had to deal with the same thing. So we wish you didn't have to, but we appreciate the win. What's a flare screen? Oh, Tiago coming in. Tiago, what's a flare screen?
What's a flare screen, man?
Yeah. Tim, the Heat fan in here. Tim Lally wants to know. He says I don't know anything about basketball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, he's a little upset.
There's Ben Falk is giving out a class on Twitter. If you have a Twitter account, he's giving out a Twitter class. Goes through all these little topics. So highly recommend it.
Maybe I'll go take that class, Tim. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'll learn, Tim. Okay, real quick. Tiago, just to let you know, we're going to switch over to a different stream to help Dives out a little bit when it comes to editing. So we are going to be switching over to it's literally just a post game. So right when the clock hits 0, we're going to switch. Guys, remember, I've been telling them the whole time. So make sure you go. Once we end this broadcast, go click on that next video. We will be over there. So come join us. Come join us, please. Paul. Wait, let's see.
He's on the court now, right? He came in.
Yeah, Paul Reed is in. So is Dakota Mathias. So is Terrence Ferguson. Do you see that?
The band is back together.
Yep.
One more time.
All right, so we want to talk about flare screen.
Oh, there it is.
It's basically an off-ball screen that frees up a player off ball for a shot. So it's not a pick that you're setting for the ball handler. It's it's one of the most basic, fundamental plays. Not even a play, but fundamental things that a big man will learn is to create open looks for your shooter by setting an off-ball screen. Good question. I think it's a good question.
I don't think it was a question. It's someone trying to be smart with me.
So,
okay. Asked and answered, right? I hope.
Yeah.
What was the context that the question came about? Are we talking about the Heat offense?
Tim was coming at me because he said, I don't know why he randomly came in here. He said, I I should know. You should probably learn about basketball before you start talking about basketball. So apparently, because I don't know one play, I don't know basketball.
Well, we
Yeah, I
all-
mean, look, and
All right. Anyway, Brunt screen freed up by Rocco on his rare finishing game winner.
Mhm.
LOL.
that was a great. That was a really nice ATO that Brett Brown dialed up. It worked really well to win a game. I think it was against the Knicks, if I remember. Maybe not. And it's a play they ran like pretty much all the time.
Yeah.
And if it was open, the lob was there. So, yep, Shake is the player of the game.
Player of the game. Okay, real quick, guys. Sixers moved to 9-4. We're gonna go over to the post game show. So give us 1 second. Make sure you come right back, guys. Tiago, Jay, make sure you go join that real quick. Okay, we'll be right back, guys. See you really soon.